The reason I invited you here was because I just wanted to get an idea of, because like you've when I first met you, you told me how you blew up on social media. You blew up on Instagram, and you get a bunch of followers on YouTube. So how many? So tell me a little bit about that, like that story or like that event that took place.
Okay. How do you want me to like start from the beginning where I started my social media?
Yeah, well, tell me. Yeah, you could. Yeah, like from the beginning, from the yeah, like how did it all start off, and then why did you even start, recording and posting on social media and creating content on YouTube.
Okay, is it okay if I talk a little bit more about drugs?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Okay, so free game. Um, so I started posting on YouTube in 2022. I had just quit my job in finance. It was 1 year out of college,
Uh huh.
and I was just working this job. Wasn't going the way that I wanted it to, and my life basically was not going the way I wanted it to. Um, I was dealing with like all sorts of financial issues, drug issues as well, and really I just wanted to inspire people. So, but more so than anything, like I wanted to get myself out of that rut, and I wanted to document the journey from like being addicted to Xanax to uh, where I am now, and hopefully a lot further. And it started as a fitness page. I was just posting like myself working out. I was super fucking self conscious about it, and slowly it transitioned more into like inspirational stuff. And where I'm at now, it's a combination of everything. I'm figuring out like what my message is, where I want to push it, what direction I want to go in. But yeah, it started off as just fitness. I was posting my workout videos, and then I started posting like comedy stuff, and then from there it went towards, okay, let me take myself a little bit more seriously because I'm actually doing this as a business now, and I want to make money off this because at this point I was already signing people onto my online coaching business. So I do online personal training, write people's workout plans and diet plans and that stuff. And then, you know, I went from basically in a rut to like having $200 in my bank account, having a falling out with my parents, and then getting clean off the Xans. And then I went from all that to signing clients and getting in the best shape of my life. And, a year from when I started, I moved down to Austin, Texas. And that's when I really was like, all right, I'm going full time with this. So I quit my personal training job. Forgot to even talk about that. I spent a year working as a personal trainer while I was building this up. Not really knowing what it could even become, but just doing it just because I always wanted to do it. Like, I've always been into fitness. I would always thought about making YouTube videos. And, you know, that was like what I wanted to do coming out of high school. And in high school, like I watched a lot of YouTube and I watched a lot of fitness influencers and that type of stuff. So I wanted to do that, but I was just afraid of judgment, afraid of what people would think about me if I didn't go to college. So I ended up going to college, and it was a mess for me because it wasn't what I wanted to do. So I think that's a lot of what brought on me getting into the drugs, me dealing with a lot of mental health issues. And, um, you know, I started this YouTube channel basically because I was like, I got to follow my dreams and I got to do something that I want to do to give me a spark in my life to get myself out of this rut. And 3 years later, here I am. And to answer your question about uh, what was the question, blowing up on social media?
Yeah, what was that like?
Yeah, so the YouTube has just been steady growth pretty much. Like I had a couple videos that really took off and got like 5,000 views or so. Brought me up with a couple hundred subscribers overnight. And that showed me, that was like a little glimpse into, oh shit, like I could really turn this into a full stream of income. And that's around the time where I did quit my training job and I moved down to Texas. It was a couple months after that. And yeah, it was just steady growth with the YouTube. With the Instagram, it was basically like, it was my friends from college, my friends from high school, and those types of people following me. And then once I moved down to Austin, fucking I kept posting, and the business was kind of starting to struggle. Everything was taking a step backwards from where it was from the point I left. And then I remember like in November, it was just after Thanksgiving, I made this one reel that got like 5 million plays. And when I woke up in the morning, the day after I posted it, I must have had like 3,000 more followers. And then it just kept going up over the course of the next couple of days. Almost got up to 10K followers. And to me, that showed me that like, this is really possible and that I don't have to work a 9 to 5 for the rest of my life. And I thought that was going to be the ticket for me to just like, I'm never going to have to worry about money again. Because from the time I've gotten out of college, I've always been stressing about money, you know, and a lot of people are. So I'm not saying that like I'm the only one, but I thought that was going to be the ticket. And for a point, it was. Like after that, I think I signed 6 or 7 new clients, put me in a really good spot, and then it slowed down again. And then I started losing followers, and I've never caught up to the same amount of followers that I was at that point. But it gave me the motivation to keep posting even when shit is not going my way. And it gave me the type of mindset of like, okay, I got to keep going with this shit. No matter how long it takes, no matter if nothing's going my way. And, you know, I've been doing it for 3 years. It takes a long ass time. And I'm not even close to where I want to be. But I really believe that it's possible for me to have, you know, a shit ton of money doing what I actually love and not having to worry about having a boss or working a 9 to 5 or, you know, being in a situation that I don't want to be and then escaping with fucking drugs and alcohol. So, yeah, it really just showed me what's possible. But at the same time, it's like, none of that shit is real. Like the followers, that doesn't mean more money in your pocket. And a lot of those followers, like, they don't fucking care about you. It doesn't necessarily mean anything, but it showed me what's possible. But at the same time, it's like, since then I've lost followers. Since then, things have not been going my way, but I continue pushing because I've seen what's possible.
So I just want to, so how many followers did you have on Instagram before you posted that video on, was it, did you post it on Instagram, TikTok?
Instagram, TikTok. It only blew up on Instagram for some reason.
Okay.
I think I couldn't put the right audio on it on TikTok.
So how many followers did you have before you posted that video?
I think I had 1,200.
1,200 followers?
Uh-huh.
And then within a span of a couple of days, you went up to 10,000 followers.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. Mm-hmm. That's crazy. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so has that, like, you were talking about how necessarily these people don't necessarily know who you really are, but you're trying to find you're trying to figure out what kind of message you want to convey to these people, or what kind of style you want to, you know, present yourself to the public, mm-hmm. right? Because like what I've been trying to do, the reason I started this whole YouTube channel was just to document my life, right? Because, I feel like, time progresses so fast, you kind of get lost in the moment sometimes. And I think the reason I started this YouTube channel was to motivate myself, inspire myself, and push myself outside of my comfort zone. Similar to what you were saying, I was a little hesitant when I first started posting my videos on YouTube. And I was feeling a little self-conscious. I'm like, hey, what are people going to think about me for posting, this content about me working out at the gym? I'm not like, yeah, I like working out and all, and it's a good hobby. But what am I trying to say? No, but like, yeah, the whole reason I started this YouTube channel was just documenting my life and like the stages in which I become, like I mature, how my perspective changes over time, the way I like talk to people, right? Like one of my personal goals is just to being able to articulate my thoughts and like being better at articulating my thoughts. Like we both work this sales job that we work for a company, Finray Solar, right? So we sell solar energy,
Door to door.
door-to-door solar energy, right? So, right, it's actually kind of funny because I would always like grow up seeing other people being so good at articulating thoughts and be like, oh, they're so much better than me, or like, oh, I'm not that good, I'm not good enough, or like, I would always look down on myself. I'd like limit myself and compare myself to other people, which is not a good thing, right? Like, I think Cody always says is like comparison is the thief of joy or something like that. And I feel like I think this whole YouTube channel is a journey, right? It's like an experience or like figuring myself out because there's so many things I want to do in life. So fitness is a really important aspect of my life. I really think it's important to take care of yourself, have those good habits, instill those habits early on in your life so you can like become more successful in the future, and that just trickles into other aspects of your life, like your professional life. I don't know, spirituality. Some people are very religious. For a while I took a kind of deviated from my religion, but I'm coming back more to it. And I feel like, yeah. But it's interesting, right? Like you blew up on social media, right? So did that feed you into your ego? Did you feel like you were the center of attention? Did you feel like everything was going your way when you blew up on social media?
I think when I started to blow up on YouTube, yeah, like my ego definitely got to me, and you can see it in my videos. My ego was out of control. But when it happened on Instagram, I was like, it was kind of just a massive sigh of relief because I had just sold off my fucking car. I drove down to Austin in this beat up ass truck and just chasing a dream. Packed all my stuff in that truck, moved down there, and then, the business was not going my way. I sold the car off, and then
You sold the car when you got to Texas,
a
or
couple months after,
a couple of months after? So where were you living in Texas?
Austin. So like,
Did you was it an Airbnb? Were you staying with friends?
no, it was just me. I didn't know anybody down there. Didn't make any friends my whole time there. I was just grinding and like,
So what were you doing when you were in Austin, Texas?
so I moved down there to get away from Chicago because
Uh-huh.
the whole thing is when you're trying to become a new person, you want to like get out of that environment. And for me, Chicago is where I've been my whole life, and it was just so ingrained. So like I wanted to become a new person, and I was taking all the steps to do that. So I just moved down to Austin, Texas on a whim. Like probably should have waited longer, stacked up more money, but my ego was out of control. I was chasing a dream, and whatever. I took the opportunity. I'm not mad about it, but
Yeah, didn't you? I think you told me previously that you had a mentor. You went to meet up with your mentor in Texas, right? In Austin?
yeah. So that was a separate event,
Oh, okay.
and that was this year. But yeah, I moved down there like just chasing a dream, and Yeah, to answer your question about like, did it fuel my ego? Um, when I blew up on Instagram, it was more so just like a sigh of relief. Like, thank God, because I was barely making it by, and like, I think I probably fucking cried
You
when
did?
that happened. Yeah, I
Damn,
probably
that's
cried.
really
Yeah,
damn.
because it was the real like meant a lot to me because it showed my journey from like just being all fucked up and like literally I was on the street with my fucking pants down, blacked out, and yeah, to where I was at that point, just being jacked, and it meant a lot to me. I don't know what it meant to other people, but for me that post was like symbolic. So it was like a massive sigh of relief when all that happened, but it didn't last long, and it showed me that like it's never over. You got to continue pushing because I moved down to Austin and I thought that was just like, oh, this is the start of my new life. My new life. I'm not gonna have to worry about money again. Everything is made out. You know, I put in all this work, and then all this shit humbled me because it was like, nope, you've only been doing this for 1 year. Like, sit your ass down, buddy, because you have a lot of work to do. And when I was in Austin, that's what I figured out is that I still have a lot of fucking healing, a lot of self growth to do, and a lot more work to put in to the social media and to the business.
Yeah, I can kind of relate to you. You were saying how moving from Chicago to Austin, it was like a fresh start, right? And I can kind of relate to you in that way. How I moved from Vancouver, Canada, to Chicago, Illinois, right? Like I would have never thought in a million years that I would be here doing what I'm doing here in Chicago. I would have never expected that in my entire life, but it just happened. The opportunity presented itself, and when these types of opportunities present themselves, you have to
You
take
gotta
advantage.
take it.
You gotta jump in. You gotta go all in, and you know, grab the bull by the horn and fucking go with it, right? So, I feel like these past couple of months have been somewhat of a like it's been a mental battle it's been a mental battle for me. I feel like the distance from my family and my friends and growing up in Vancouver, specifically Coquitlam, it's hard to be away from the family. It's hard to be away from the friends, and being so used to, I had everything in Vancouver. I had everything, right? Like I had my family there, my friends. I was so comfortable. I was so used to. I knew where I was going. I knew what I was doing, right? But then this opportunity presented itself, and I said, you know what? I'm young.
So like what sort of, because for me it was the exact opposite. I wanted to get the fuck
You
out
wanted
of
to escape.
I wanted to escape, and I was running from something. So then when I settled down and I was here alone in Texas, I had all this mental baggage to unpack. But like for you, it was the exact opposite. You had everything made out for you, but you just said, fuck this. I got this opportunity. So I'm curious, like, what sort of things have been coming up for you since you're here? Like, what sort of struggles mentally or however so?
I would say financially, it's been like moving to a whole different country, living on your like I'd always ever since I was a kid I'd always live with my parents, right? Like I'd always be at home with them, and I was always with them and with my brother. So I was so used to that, and then as you start to get older, you butt head with your parents, and then you're like, I don't want to do this. I don't agree with your I don't agree with what you're saying or the rules that you have, the house rules that you got to follow as a kid, like because they're your parents. So I think part of the reason I wanted to move to Chicago was to experience living on my own and seeing what that was like, and I understood it was going to be, I understood that it was going to be a transition. It was going to be something that I needed to get used to, because so the like when I moved down here, I'm like, okay, I got to get my own place. I got to get a car for work. I got to start making money, right? I got to start paying all my bills. I didn't realize that I'd have so many bills, and then I'd have to, like, I would take on all these bills. Like, I didn't realize it was going to be that, like, my dad would always tell me, Laoud, he's like, Laoud, when you move out, you're going to realize that living on your own is not what it's not a bad thing, or it's like, it's just going to be difficult, right? He was telling me how you're gonna wish you were still home when you move to Chicago. You're gonna miss all the home cooked meals, having your own bed and everything like that.
I'm listening to you. I'm gonna go spit this Zin out.
Yeah.
Keep talking.
Yeah. So your question was, why did I want to move to Chicago? Why did I do that?
No, it was more so like, since you've been here.
Oh, what struggles, or what has been going on?
Yeah.
I would say the financial struggles. Yes, this is a really good job, but at the same time, sales is, you have highs and then you have lows, but then again, like it's up and down, right? Like,
but you have a vision.
Yeah,
you have a vision for the future.
Yeah, I do have.
Chasing a dream.
Yeah, I do. So, I told myself I'd come down here to Chicago for at least a year. Like, I told myself I'd like to make, I like, this was a very, what's the word? It's just like, I told myself I want to make $100,000. I want to make $100,000 in sales by the end of December, right? December 2025. I want to have that money saved up, right? And then going out to work every single day, working 7 days a week, you just burn out. And then sometimes when you see that paycheck and it's not what you put in so much effort, but you don't see the results, it's just draining. It's like, it makes you feel, it would make me feel upset, because I'm like, hey, what's going on? I'm putting in so much work. I'm knocking these doors, putting a smile on my face, trying to be nice and bubbly with these people. And then they're just saying, no, I'm not interested. No, I don't want to do this. No, I don't care what you have to say. Right? So it's a matter of like figuring that out and perfecting my craft when it comes to sales.
Would you say that you want to be an entrepreneur?
Entrepreneur? Yeah, well, I'd love to become an entrepreneur. There's so many directions I want to go in life, right? So I told myself I'd come down here for a year, rack up some money, and then by the end of the year decide if it was in my best interest to continue to live here in the United States, because it's a 5-year visa. So I said, I'm going to come down here, try it out, see what it's like. If it doesn't work out, I'll go back to Vancouver, right? Go back to Vancouver and then find another job. But more than anything, I'd like to go to South Korea to teach English, because in high school, I already told you this, but in high school, I was a minority, right? So I was the only Mexican in my graduating class of 2016. I was accepted into the International Baccalaureate program, which is basically an advanced school curriculum program for intelligent kids, right? For like kids that are very well educated, very smart, very intuitive. And I was part of that program, and it was a very tough program. I was very studious during during high school. And it's interesting because, like, in high school, I was so studious. I was very introverted, closed off, shy. I would just go to school, come back home, play video games, do my homework, go back to school, and just repeat the cycle. I'd play sports here and there. I grew up playing soccer, and then I did a bunch of other sports over the course of time. I did wrestling. A little bit of basketball, but my main sport was soccer. And yeah, so I think part of the reason I want to go to South Korea to teach English was because the majority of my friends in high school were Korean, right? So I was the only Mexican, and I think it was kind of funny, because like the way I would see it, I'd be like that. I was like that one brown kid with a bunch of Asian kids just hanging out eating kimchi, right? So I'd be just chilling with these guys, and I was like the only Mexican there, right? and I think that's why I want to go to South Korea, was because my friends were Korean and they were so accepting of me. They were very accommodating. They're very open to me, right? And they're very nice people, genuine people. That's what I think about the Korean people. I think that's why I'm so fascinated about the Asian culture, particularly the Korean culture. And I, so yeah, I think so. So would I like to become an entrepreneur? Yes, I think I would like to become an entrepreneur. And there's so many directions I want to go to. I just have to figure out, like, plan, come up with a game plan, and see where, in which direction I want to go, right? Um, so I got my certification to teach English. So yeah, going back to high school, I was very studious. I was very, shy. And then first thing I did when I got to university, first day of university, I'm like, where are the frats? I want to join a frat. I want to party. I want to have some fun. So I ended up joining a frat. And then I met a good group of people. We'd party a lot. And then I honestly didn't care about school as much as I did in high school. Honestly, I would stop showing up to my lectures. I wouldn't show up to tutorials. I wouldn't do well in my exams. And I nearly flunked out of school. But thankfully, I got my shit together. And then I think it was second year of university. I was about to get kicked out of SFU. And if it weren't for me, realizing that I needed to get my shit together and actually focus on school, I would have got kicked out of university. I would have had to go to Douglas College and restart and like work my way back to like Simon Fraser University and do that all over again. So
Yeah, I had a couple moments like that as well in college.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, man. But like I graduated. I ended up graduating in 2020, 2022, and double major political science, international studies, right? So I have that accolade. I got that under my belt. So, and then I met this guy who was actually, he was an exchange student living at my aunt's house. He's from China. His name's John. Super chill guy. And then he's like, hey, have you ever thought about teaching English in China or China? Because he was from China. He's like, there's a very high demand for English teachers in China. You should look into it. I'm like, you know what? That's a really good idea. And I think if I could go back, I don't know if I would have gone to Simon Fraser University. I probably would have switched it up and gone to BCIT for business, because I wanted to get into business, but I didn't make it into the business school, so I had to pick up a backup program. So that's why I ended up studying political science, and yeah, so I ended up getting my certification to teach English. I just recently got that, like about a year ago. I did a practicum for that. I took a 5-month course, did a practicum to teach immigrants how to speak English. So I did that, and now I am teaching my cousins who live in Mexico how to speak English. Right. So I'm slowly building a clientele, or like a group of clients that I can teach English. And I think it's a really good opportunity for me because I speak two languages. I'm bilingual. I speak both English and Spanish, right? And I have a lot of family in Mexico who would probably like to learn how to speak English, right? So I think that'd be I think I could use that as an opportunity to like take advantage of it and and just let the people know in Mexico, my family and friends. I'm like, hey, have you ever thought about teaching English? I could teach you English. I can teach you how to do grammar, learn vocabulary, conversational English, and things like that. So I'm just slowly working my way towards that, step by step, and yeah. But so would you consider yourself an entrepreneur? Would you?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. That's the goal, baby. I was just thinking about it when you were talking about knocking on people's doors, and 9 times out of 10 they're just gonna close the door in your face before they even listen to you.
Straight up.
So that's kind of like what being an entrepreneur is like. Like that's been my experience, at least. Gaining a shit ton of followers, and then a lot of those people, they want to watch you, but they don't even want to, they don't really care about you. And they don't want to work with you. They don't want to buy off you. And just being an entrepreneur, like, there's been so many times where I'm just giving it everything I got, and I have nothing to show for it. And that's a point where I'm at right now. So I would just say it's just like our job. You kind of just got to keep your head down and keep pushing, because you have no idea where this is going to go, because you know that sales it is like you can make a lot of money.
Yes,
and
you
also there's a lot of opportunities for growth. So
Yeah, I think with this job, there's um there's a there's so much potential with it, because solar is just up and coming, right? Like eventually, eventually, I was actually having a conversation with a lady who I tried to sign up, but she didn't end up signing it. We were talking for like almost 2 hours at her door, and she was just telling me about her life. She was like, you should be really happy. Solar is the next big thing, right? And we were talking about um, we were talking about how eventually we're going to run out of natural resources. We're going to run out of natural resources, like petroleum.
yeah,
And when we run out of those resources, because our population is growing, exponentially, right? And we're not going to be able to keep up with the number of people that are living on this planet, with the amount of the amount of people that are going to be here. Like, I don't know, there's already a lot of people in this planet. There's like over 7 billion people on this planet, and we're eventually going to run out of natural resources. And when it comes down to that, we're going to have to find alternative forms of energy or resources to sustain our populations. All right. So we were having that conversation, and I'm like, yeah, you're right. It's very innovative. And it's very innovative, and it's the next big thing. And I find it funny, because some people are so anti-solar. I'm like, what do you mean? This is actually really good. It's good for the environment, reduces our carbon footprint.
people just don't give a fuck.
People do not give a fuck.
People don't give a fuck about the environment. People don't give a fuck about their health. A lot of people just don't give a fuck about their life in
Yeah.
general, or leaving a positive impact.
Yeah.
But I think that's something that we both really are passionate about. Like, I'm not the most passionate about solar personally.
Yeah.
I don't really give a fuck. Like, I think it's good. But I'm passionate about making a positive impact. That's why I do what I do. And clearly you are, based on you doing what you're doing, whether you realize it or not. Because you don't realize it now, like, you may be getting 50, 25 views on these videos, but years down the line, this may turn into a full stream of income. And then the people who looked at you, and the people who laughed at you or did whatever, or looked at you a certain type of way, are going to be inspired by your success. And not even that, just like random people are going to find you, and they're going to see your growth. And that's what this shit is all about. You think that you're just documenting your life, but you may not realize it yet. You're going to end up inspiring a lot of people just through your growth. As long as you continue to grow and you continue to stay consistent with this, that's the best part about it.
Yeah. So I think you're right, man. Just fucking hustling, trying to make that money, trying to get that bread. But yeah, man. This is this is a really good job. I like the team I work with. I think we got a good team going here in Chicago. We just opened this branch up here in Chicago in what was it, like, no, so this guy named Cody, right? He's one of the managers here. He came down from Vancouver to Chicago, and we basically opened up the branch last year, and we're just trying to grow the team, and we're just trying to recruit people. And one thing I've noticed, for some reason, like, a lot of the people that we're recruiting are kind of not really don't give a fuck about their work or like their job. They just
Like I said, people don't give a fuck about their life.
yeah, I don't know why because like yeah, it's just weird. I found it a little bit weird. I don't know why it's like that. I even saw that back
Well,
when I
let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Why do you think people don't give a fuck about their life?
well, I don't. That's a good question, man.
Have you ever been in a position where you didn't give a fuck about your life?
I didn't give a fuck about my life.
Yeah, or you just didn't give a fuck about anything?
Probably in university when I was partying. I did not give a fuck about anything. I was like a fucking savage. I fucking like I did not I didn't give a fuck about what my parents thought. I didn't give a fuck about what my I did not give a fuck. I did whatever the fuck I wanted.
How was your mental health at that point?
It was at the start it was fine. I was
Yeah.
okay. But then it just deteriorated,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I was like on this I was like I felt so elevated and so good. And that's when I used to like party so much and like try to hook up with girls and do this and that. And then
It only took so long before you realized, like, none of this is providing me any more satisfaction.
100% agree with you. Have you ever been at a point in your life where you don't care, you just stop caring about the life you're living?
Yeah, I'm gonna fucking get deep because fuck it, people are watching.
Get deep, get deep.
Yeah, I think a lot of people just don't give a fuck about their life. They don't give a fuck about, they don't have a purpose. Like for me, everything in my content comes back to having a purpose. And that's what I try and inspire people to do is like, number one, you got to have a purpose in your life. And that's what fitness does. Fitness is like the start of that. Because like you said, once you start putting those habits into place, you start to feel this momentum. You start to feel this purpose. But there was a point in my life where I did not have that. Like when I was in college, I always wanted to do this, but I was too afraid to do it because people tell me you can't make any money as a personal trainer. I didn't want to be seen as like just this fucking gym guy, and I didn't want to be seen as like the guy who's making YouTube videos when he should be working a real job or something like that. So when I was in college, yeah, I didn't like you said at the start, drinking all the time, smoking all the time, hooking up with women, and it was pretty short lived before my mental health really started to go down. And then just over the course of my 4 years in college, like I turned into a completely different person. And by the time I was finished, so my senior year, like I was so deep in the drugs, I was selling coke and selling Xanax in large quantities, and yeah, bro, like I remember at that point I didn't give a fuck about my life because I would uh, I would like hit snooze on my alarm 6 times in the morning. I would get up in the morning and I wouldn't brush my teeth. I wouldn't get up and do anything except fucking sell drugs. And, you know, I spiraled and it got to a point where I destroyed all my relationships, including my family members. And like my senior year of high school, towards the end of it, or I'm sorry, college, as I was coming up on graduation, I realized like, man, I'm in such a bad spot and I'm gonna go work a job that I don't wanna work for the rest of my fucking life. And I just let loose. Like I was waking up every morning with a line of cocaine. I was following that with 2 or 3 Addies, and then I was ending every night with like 5 Xanax because I didn't give a fuck about my life. And granted, during this time, I was actually still working out, which is crazy. But that shows that if something matters to you, it's going to stick with you in your life no matter what. But at the end of my senior year of college, literally 3 weeks before I graduated, I fucking overdosed. And, you know, if it weren't for like the luckiest turn of events, I would have not been here today. So just during that point in my life, I didn't give a fuck about anything. I didn't give a fuck about my life. But it all started as like, it starts small. Like you just make a decision not to do what you want to do, to let somebody else control you, or just to play it small, which for me was going to college. And then it spirals. You start using drugs, you start using alcohol. And as you continue down this path, it becomes worse and worse. And for me, that's where I ended. Like I overdosed. I woke up in the hospital not knowing what the fuck happened. I was intubated. And it's just crazy. Like I could have not been here today.
That's crazy.
For me, the difference between who I was then and who I was now was having a purpose in my life. And yeah, back to the thing about people not giving a fuck about their life. I think people just are inhibited by their trauma, inhibited by what other people think about them. And so they don't do things like this. They don't get on YouTube and make videos because they don't want to be seen as a certain type of person, or they think that they have to be a certain type of person. And then slowly but surely, their life deteriorates. And not everybody ends up fucking at the point where they're in a hospital with a fucking tube on their dick. Or like full-blown drug addicts, but people end up in spots where they're 45 years old and they're having a midlife crisis, and, you know, God knows what else, you know, fucking their wife doesn't love them because they're not the man they used to be. And, you know, I just think a lot of people just have depression and don't care about their life. And they don't have a purpose. And when you don't have a purpose, you're like, you won't stand for anything. You let anything get in your way and affect you. You don't give a fuck about the environment. You don't give a fuck about your health. So you'll say, hey, I wanna work out and whatever, but you don't really want it because you don't really value your life. So when shit starts getting hard, when life starts picking up, you know, your workout habits fall off, your eating habits fall off. So I think when you have a purpose and like you really value your life, that's when this shit starts to matter to you. Like, how do I actually want to live on this earth? What type of impact do I want to have on people? Not being so concerned about what other people think about you, but actually thinking about, like, my days here are limited. What type of impact do I want to have? And to come back to the whole solar thing, I think people just like, they don't give a fuck about their life. So they don't give a fuck about their kids' life. They feed their kids shit food. I'm going off on a tangent, but they don't give a fuck about their life. So they don't give a fuck about what type of impact they leave on the environment. They don't give a fuck about what type of impact they leave on their kids. They don't give a fuck about what type of impact they leave on anybody else. And I've been there, so I feel like I can say that. Mm-hmm. And I don't know everything, but that's my personal opinion.
Yeah, I think you are right. Some people just, I feel like people just get lost. They like you're saying, people don't have a purpose, so they just get lost. And then I don't know, man.
Say it.
No, yeah,
you do know.
Yeah, it's just like people get lost, man. And then I like, from personal experience, like, I know, like, nearing the end of my university, I was like, yeah, I felt very alone. I felt sad, depressed, and I didn't have a good relationship with my parents at the time, or my brother. I really didn't talk to any of my friends. I felt like my friends just just like left me alone, and like I was just by myself. And then but eventually, like, there was like I don't know. I think the turning point for me where I started caring more about my life was probably, I would say, it's probably been this year, 2025, like 2024, 2025, where I started to realize that I needed to, if I want to accomplish certain things in my life, I need to push myself. I need to, like you say, I needed that purpose in my life because without it, I would just, I felt so lost. I felt empty. And I was, you know,
Were there any events that happened, or was it just kind of like you just kind of looked at your life and you were like, yeah, I need to do something?
I think I look at my life every single day and I tell myself, I'm like, hey, I could be doing so much better. Like, even like the tiniest things, man, like, I feel like sometimes I'm just super, like, I'm socially awkward. Like, I'm walking down the street and I see another person walking towards me, like, I'm like, fuck, do I look at this person? Do I smile at this person? Or do I just look away, look at my phone, and keep walking and pretend like they're not there? It's like these little things that are like somebody does something I don't like and I don't say anything about it, right? Like these little things and I'm looking at my but it's good that I'm realizing this now that I'm 27. I just turned 27. I'm realizing it now. I've been watching so many motivational videos on YouTube and been keeping up with like just watching a bunch of motivational videos here on YouTube and like trying to connect with people that are like minded and actually want to, you know, also are to connect with people that also have a purpose and build a strong community, like surround myself with a community of people that are like minded, that have the same morals and values and principles that I do. And yeah, so I look at my life every single day. You said was there a turning point for me? I would just say that I'm just starting to realize that my life is so short, that life is short, and yes, you should be in the moment and be present, but at the same time, you got to set yourself up for success, right? So like, if you're not putting in the work, how do you expect to accomplish anything in life? So for example, I'd like to enter a bodybuilding competition before I turn 30. So 3 years from now, like 3 years from now, I need to be going to the gym consistently, eating a healthy diet if I want to compete and be competitive in a bodybuilding competition. So, um, yeah, like not drinking alcohol, not using substances or anything like that. Um, and it's called delayed gratification. So I've been like literally the other day I was just thinking I'm like in the gym, I'm like I'm by myself here working out by myself. It's late at night, I'm hungry. I gotta after working out, I gotta go cook me some food and then I gotta shower and then I gotta get ready for bed because I gotta wake up the next morning and go to work. But I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, this is delayed gratification, right? So I'm doing this now because I know 3 years from now I want to be in a bodybuilding competition, right? So yeah, man, it's like there's a yeah. There's just I have so many thoughts in my head, and then sometimes I just get lost in the thoughts, and I'm like, what should I say? What should I do? Paralysis.
Well, I think when you have a purpose, like, um, I heard this one statement once: conscience congruent action brings clarity from confusion. So I noticed for myself, when that purpose is real clear and when I'm pushing myself to do the things that I know I need to do and I'm not fucking around, that my thoughts become a lot more straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
My mental health gets a lot better and just things start to become a lot more clear. Because, like, I relate to that, having a lot of thoughts in my head and you don't even really know where to start. But when you start and then when it compounds, everything becomes a lot more clear. The answers to your questions become a lot more clear.
Yeah.
And to your point about like the bodybuilding competition, I think like we were talking about that a couple of days ago, and you said you wanted to do it, but there wasn't really a time frame on it. And like, I say this out of respect. I say this like just being 100% real with you. I think that you want to do something with this YouTube channel as well. But I feel like sometimes you're kind of playing it small in the fact that you're like, I'm just documenting my journey. But it's good to look at it like that, because when you're doing something that you want to do, that's going to keep you motivated. But at the same time, you got to have this mission of like, where do I actually want to take this? Because at some point, you're going to have to make that leap, because eventually this shit is going to start blowing up if you stay consistent. And you're going to have to make that mental transition from, I'm just doing this just to document my journey, to like, I'm doing this for an actual reason, whether that's to make money, to leave an impact, to not have to work a job. So I just feel like you gotta not play it small with your goals, because that's when people start to not. That's when you start to deteriorate and people start to not give a fuck about their life. And like when we were talking about the bodybuilding competition, it was like, yeah, I want to do this, but like I don't really know when I want to do it. And you were saying like you didn't have a time frame. You didn't really know if you wanted to win it. But then as we started talking about it, you were like, yeah, I kind of do want to win this. Like I want to actually win it. And I want to do it 3 years from now. And I think when you actually start getting really clear on your goals and you start taking the actions towards them and not playing it small, that's when things start to align for you.
Yeah. And so that's one of my goals, is to enter a bodybuilding competition. And we previously had another conversation where you have a YouTube series. What's a YouTube series called?
It's called Training Until I'm in Fighting Shape.
Fighting Shape. And you said you wanted it to, the reason that you're doing this is because you'd like to enter a amateur boxing
Fight,
right?
Yeah. Yeah. So that's something that I want to do, and I'm really far from it. It sounds kind of ridiculous because I just started boxing, and like I'm still trash, but I really believe that I can do whatever the fuck I set my mind to, because I've seen it with the social media,
Yeah.
and I've seen it just in my journey, and I know what my work ethic is when I really get clear on what the fuck I want, and I'm not playing it small. I'm not like, limiting myself. When I get really clear on what the fuck I want to do, then I feel like I can accomplish anything.
And why did you pick boxing out of all the sports?
I think,
Because weren't you a swimmer in high school?
yeah, I was a swimmer in high school. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that I like about boxing. I like the fact that it's a fight, that you're fighting another man, and it's also one of the hardest sports. Like, there's so many other sports that are like, just not as intense, but boxing is so intense. It's really just a test of willpower. And like, can you continue pushing? There's so much endurance that goes into it. It's fucking mental chess with another person. There's so much mindset that goes into it. So I think for me, that was a big part of what drove me to that. I think another part was just kind of feeling insecure, because like I had all this muscle, but I've dealt with a lot of injuries, a lot of lower back pain and stuff. And there's been times where I felt incompetent, where like I'm walking down the street and I got all these fucking muscles, but I'm like, if somebody ran up on me right now or somebody started something with me, I would like throw my back out and I would get knocked out. And I've had experiences like that.
Where you
So,
get into where people have agitated you?
yeah, like I
Where
had,
people have wanted to fight you?
yeah,
Just randomly out of nowhere?
not randomly out of nowhere. Like, to give you an example, I was selling weed and then this kid tried to hit a lick on me and then
I don't know what that means.
he tried to steal from me.
Okay.
And
Is
then,
that Chicago slang?
yeah, I think so. And then I ran after him. I remember he was like, I'm not going to describe all the details, but I ran after him and I jumped off this little stoop that was maybe like 2 feet. And like as soon as I landed, my knee just went out. And I think it was like my sciatic nerve. And the next week and a half, I was just like, I could barely walk. And so that was one of those experiences. There was another experience where I got into an altercation with one of my buddies, and he fucking knocked the shit out of me.
He knocked you out?
Not knocked me out, but it was a dude much smaller than me, and he punched me in the face, and I hit my head on the fucking pavement, and and my face was all fucked up. And so, yeah, but I just think like a lot of it is like self-confidence. I wanted to feel more self-confident. And I think when you can't fight, and you always know that in the back of your head, that if somebody runs up on you, like, I can't defend myself. So I think for me, wanting to defend myself was something I thought would bring me more self-confidence. And I don't know if it really will, but I think it's a good skill to have, because I think also a lot of people who don't know how to fight, when they get in like stressful situations, they like explode. They have explosive anger, or they have outbursts and stuff because really they're scared. So that's for me why I got into boxing.
Yeah. Actually, I also wanted, like, I was working one day and then this random guy just started harassing me, started filming me and he just started swearing at me saying you're an idiot. I don't know, I was just working, doing my job. This guy just comes out, he's like, why you're knocking at my door? I'm just doing my job. He just starts following me around and starts yelling at me and swearing at me. He's not even wearing socks, walking up. He's not even wearing socks, fucking wearing shorts and a fucking tank top, just walking around following me. And I kind of enter like fight or flight. And my usual response is flight. I always try to avoid these uncomfortable situations. And then eventually, like, I grabbed my phone and the guy backs off because I was about to call the cops because this guy was fucking following me. It's not letting me go, like, not leaving me alone. I'm like, fuck. And then after that day, I'm like, fuck. He was so much shorter than me. I'm so much taller and I'm so much bigger than him. But how could I, like, it was a fight or flight response and I chose flight when I could have stood my ground, defended myself and said, hey, if you don't back off and stop harassing me, I'm going to do something. I'm going to protect myself. And then I think after that situation, I said, man, I really should pick up or learn how to do boxing just for self-defense, or because, dude, and I think, yeah, just for self-defense, I would just have that just to make sure if I were to have another situation like that, if I ever were to need to do that, I would, be able to hold my ground and defend myself against someone like that. Yeah. I did wrestling in high school, but you can do wrestling, but if you really want to defend yourself, you can't just like friggin' take someone down and not throw punches or something like that. Yeah. Yeah, man. It's interesting. Do you like working at Finray?
Um, it's not my dream, man, but
So do you see yourself staying with Finray for a while, or are you probably just gonna find something else?
I think I'm at the point now where I'm like, I need to stick it out. I see this as a stepping stone, to be honest.
Yeah.
I see it as a stepping stone because I still have this vision of building this online coaching business
Yeah.
and building my social media, but I need income at the same time. So it'd be stupid just to fucking continue doing the same thing and just trying to run my business and then not seeing any success. So I see this as like a necessary stepping stone, something I don't want to do to get to where I want to be. And that's the reason why I'm still sticking it out. But
Gotta make sacrifices.
yeah, and like I could probably could go get another job and do that, but I'm like I tend to stick things out. And I feel like if I stick around here, it's a good growth opportunity for me. Like just dealing with the asshole people that we deal with on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
It forces you to get better with handling rejection. It forces you to get better at talking to people. And these are all skills that I need as well. So that's why I'm sticking here. And I plan on sticking here for a while until I'm at a point where it's like, okay, I think I've learned what I can learn and I'm in a better spot financially.
I think that's really good, man, that you're it shows that you're committed. Like, I think that's really good. Just shows that you're mentally tough. Like, you saying that, not necessarily like you saying that, just knowing that you gotta stick it through and then you're gonna stay with this. Yeah.
A lot of people don't have that.
A lot of
Like,
people don't, man.
people come to this job and they quit after the first day or the
Yeah,
first
straight
week.
up.
And like it's sometimes the people that you least expect to, like, I don't know. I see the same thing with my fitness coaching clients. Some people come on fired up and then a couple weeks later they've already fallen off. And people just don't know how to stick through. People don't know how to have delayed gratification. We live in an age of instant gratification.
We do.
And everybody wants shit quick. But people don't know how to stick shit out. And like, I'll stick shit out to the point where it's like, sometimes to my detriment. Like, I don't know. I stick shit out sometimes to my detriment. I think that's kind of my personality. And I think I get a lot of that from my parents. But I don't know. I guess I wish more people had that. Because people just want to give up on shit as soon as it gets hard. People want to give up on shit as soon as they're not seeing the results.
Dude, and that's kind of how I felt, man. Like, first couple, even, yeah, like, I don't know, man. Like, first couple months into the show, I'm like, I don't know if this is for me. I don't know if I want to continue knocking doors. I was like, I kind of just want to go home and give up. But I'm like, don't be a pussy, Loud. Fucking stick it through. Because there's so much potential with this job. Yeah.
That's the mindset you gotta have, because I still think that every single fucking day.
Think what? That you don't want to do this anymore, or that you're gonna continue pushing every single day?
Yeah, with this job, with my social media.
With everything?
With everything. Sometimes with my fitness. Well, not really as much with my fitness, because I've already seen the results of that, and I love where I am. But with other stuff, yeah, I think that all the time. And there's times where I do fall off. And I feel like I'm at a point now where in certain aspects I am falling off. And like people tell me, oh no, you're doing good. You know, our coworkers tell me that, you know, no, Finn, you're doing good. But in the back of my head, I know I'm not doing certain things that I could be. I know I'm not recording content when I could be, because I'm getting in my own way, because I'm sad, I'm depressed, whatever. But, and I fall off with shit. Like right now I'm at a point where I used to be posting every single day, and I was super fucking motivated, and nothing was gonna stop me. And then now I'm kind of falling off again, but I'm slowly getting my way back on the horse. And I think that's what it's always gonna fucking be with anything. That's what it is with your fitness. You know, people fall off once with their fitness, and then they try a workout plan, they fall off, and then they never get back on. And they never fucking try again, and they say, oh, it's my genetics. Oh, I can't do what this guy does. I have a wife and a kids, or I work this type of job.
Man. Those are just self-limiting beliefs.
But you're always going to fall off. It's just about a matter of how many times can you get back up. And how quickly can you get back up.
I think I heard that line in Rocky.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it's not about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit.
Yeah, I was actually watching Creed the other day.
Yeah?
Yeah, dude. I was going to say...
Which one?
The first one.
First one?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that in a while.
It's a good movie, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, have you seen all the Creeds?
No, I saw the first one, and then I think I saw the third one where he fights the Russian.
I think that's the second one. On the third one, he fights his friend.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I saw the one where he fights the Russian, and I was like, yeah, this is kind of trash.
You don't like it?
Nah, I like the Rocky movies better. I think.
Really?
Yeah.
The Rocky movies they're fucking gold.
Especially the first fucking Rocky. That is one of the best movies of all time. Sylvester Stallone, just the whole journey he went through, and like the whole message behind that. Because that's not even a boxing movie. That's a movie about like forgotten people. That's a movie about like he came from, like he was just some schmuck nobody, some bum, and then he goes to fighting on a world stage. So that's why I love that movie. But yeah,
it's a really good movie, dude. I grew up watching the Rocky movies with my dad because he'd always be playing them at home on the TV. Good movies. You ever watch Finding Nemo?
Finding Nemo.
That's a good movie.
What type of movies do you watch?
Honestly,
what's your top 3 favorite movies?
Oh, top 3 favorite movies. I like action. I like comedy. Dude, I really like romantic comedies.
Romantic comedies?
Yeah, they always put a smile.
You're a fucking cornball.
I fucking put a smile on my face. It's because I'm a fucking. What's the word? What's it called when you're like
a hopeless romantic?
I'm a hopeless romantic. That's what it is. It's true though, man. Like I'm a hopeless romantic.
It's that Latino coming out of you.
Yeah, I guess so, right? Fuck. No,
Okay,
but
top
like,
3.
top 3 movies. Oh, what's that? I really like Edge of Tomorrow with Tom Cruise.
Never seen it.
So it's just a movie where he's just it's like a alien versus the aliens attack planet Earth.
Okay, maybe.
And they're wearing Hex Tech suit armors where they're able to fly and jump around and use swords and guns to fight these aliens. And he's reliving he like dies and relives again. He's like die and repeat, and he's trying to save the planet. That was probably one of my favorite movies. I also really like, I'm just trying to think, Finding Nemo's up there. Finding Nemo, Edge of Tomorrow, the switch up with Bateman, or what's that? You know, the white guy and Ryan Reynolds, they had a movie where they switched bodies.
I don't think I've seen that one.
The Change Up or the Switch Up? I think it's called The Change Up or the Switch Up, but it was a really good comedy movie. There's another movie I really liked a lot. It's actually, this is not one of my top 3 movies, but the other day I was just watching a movie about this, I think his name was Anthony Harper or something like that, how it was this wrestler who only had one leg. It was based on a true story. So it was just, the movie was about just following his journey from receiving no scholarships and then joining a team, joining a wrestling team for a university, and how he only had one leg, right? So that was like a very, very good movie because it just, for some reason, like, it was a really good movie. I liked it, and it was very inspirational, very motivational, because he only had one leg, and he ended up winning the, I think it was is NCAA for basketball or is that for all sports?
That's all sports.
Yeah, so NCAA for wrestling in the United States.
Yeah.
Right, so he ended up winning he ended up winning his weight group, and yeah, that was an interesting movie. I thought it was very good, and I actually liked that movie because I was actually thinking the other day, dude, like, because in high school I was doing wrestling and I was pretty good at wrestling, and my high school wrestling coach, she's like, okay, Loud, you gotta start coming in 5 times a week, right, for wrestling practice. Practices are like 1 to 2 hours every single day. And I'm like, you know what? I don't really care about this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't like you, coach, because you're telling me that I have to do this, and then I ended up quitting. Right? But I was actually really good in grade 8. I won the school district championship for my weight class, which is pretty sick. And dude, the thing is, like, even after winning the school district championship, I'm like, I would compare myself to other people. I'd like bring myself down. I'm like, oh, I won the championship, but then I'd compare myself to other people. I'm like, oh, but I'm still not good enough. It was kind of weird. But I was thinking the other day, I'm like, if I would have stuck it out, I probably could have gotten a scholarship to SFU for wrestling, or even for soccer, man. Because when I was younger, man, like I was super good at soccer, and I was so confident in myself. And then I don't know what happened. I just lost my confidence, and yeah, I could have if I really wanted to, I think I could have.
Sorry.
No, if I really wanted to, I think I could have gotten a scholarship for wrestling if I dedicated myself and put in the work. And I was thinking, like, if I would have continued that journey or kept going in that direction, if I really wanted to, I could have, seen if I would have been able to make the Canadian national team or the Mexico's national team, the Mexican national team for wrestling, and then, eventually go to the Olympics or do something like that. It's just interesting, like.
Back to what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Because that relates to everything that we were just talking about. Like, people have shit like that as a kid that affects them for the rest of their life. They don't stick through with things, and then they don't, as a result, they're comparing themselves to people, and they're playing small, so they quit or whatever.
Yeah.
And then that pattern just continues throughout the rest of their life. And I think a lot of people are basically just living out their childhood trauma. And then other people are living out their childhood dreams. But movies are sick. Movies tell a lot about life.
What are your top 3 movies?
Top 3 movies, it gotta be... I don't watch a lot of movies. I don't. And I kind of want to start watching more. Probably Interstellar.
Oh, that was a good movie.
Probably Rocky. And then probably The Dark Knight. I remember I loved The Dark Knight.
That was a good movie.
But yeah, movies are sick.
What was the Joker? What was his name, the actor?
Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger. Did he die of cancer?
No, I think he killed himself.
Oh, really?
Because he was literally... Barry was just talking about this the other day. He was like so caught up in the role.
Yeah.
That he thought he was the Joker, and he hated himself. And he couldn't escape that. And the Joker is a perfect example of fucking childhood trauma.
Yeah.
I don't know how we went in this direction, but the Joker is a perfect example. He just that's a great movie because it literally shows that fucking journey. Both Batman and the Joker had horrible things happen to them as a kid, but it's just how you respond to it. Because the Joker had horrible shit happen to him, and he was like, I'm going to make this happen to everybody else. Batman had horrible shit happen to him, and he's like, I'm gonna make sure this doesn't happen to nobody else. And yeah, but I got a question for you. So you've been sober for what, 9 months?
Since November 5th of
months.
2024.
6 months. What have you noticed since you got sober? And like also, what do you do to spend your time now that you're sober? Because we're doing shit like this on a Saturday night where we're just recording ourselves talking.
Yeah.
And we're not drinking beers, we're drinking fucking LaCroix. And
I could
it's
use
kind of
another.
gay, but
Okay.
at the same time,
It's not gay, bro. Not drinking alcohol is not gay, bro.
but at the same time, it's like,
You want another one?
yeah, if you got more,
They're not cold though.
that's fine. But how long have we been talking?
I don't know. How long does this say?
You just cut this part out, but
If I click it, is it gonna tell me?
are you gonna come sit back down here?
Yeah.
Okay. What have you noticed since you got sober, or how do you feel like your life is different? Okay.
Yeah.
Good looks. What do you think about the podcast so far?
I think it's good. Do you normally have you ever done a podcast before?
No. My YouTube channel though is basically like a lot of my videos are basically just like podcasts, mini podcasts, 20 minutes, but it'd be podcasts of just me. But I think it's better when you have another person that you can like spitball ideas off of.
Yeah. Just going back to that question you asked me, what does it feel like that I've been sober for 6 months? Okay, I feel the thing is, like, for some reason I would just, when I was back in Vancouver, I'd just be drinking on the weekends for no reason, absolutely no reason, just to feel something, just to feel happy or feel good about myself. Like I'd hit up my buddy and we'd go to the liquor store and buy like a 12 pack of White Claw Surge, which is 7% alcohol, and we just, I don't know, I think it was 12 or 24. We'd be like doing that every single weekend at my house. We'd just be playing beer pong and drinking White Claws and listening to Playboy Cardi, right? But now that I haven't been drinking alcohol, I feel like I'm trying to just like, trying to find other things in my life or other things that will make me feel that I will like in my life. So for example, the ukulele. The ukulele that someone gave to me. I've been trying to learn how to play Riptide on the ukulele. So I think I've been trying to find outlets that are healthier, like going to the gym, trying to learn how to play the ukulele. I bought this PlayStation, and to be honest, I don't really like it as much as I thought I would have. Like, I play video games every now and then, but like, I thought, yeah, like I have everything. Damn, your question was, what does it feel like to be sober? I would say,
So you're not, I guess like one difference between that is the PlayStation is almost like drinking.
the PlayStation?
Yeah, because you can go on, you can get that instant gratification, but then it's not actually doing anything for you in your life. You're not learning anything. When you're playing the ukulele, when you're building a YouTube channel, that's delayed gratification because you're putting in all this work and it sucks at the start. But then as you go more and more, you're learning. And then it's the gift that keeps on giving. Because then the better you get at it, the more you enjoy it.
Yeah.
But
I think you're right, man.
what would your non-sober self think about your sober self playing the ukulele and recording YouTube videos? What would he say about this version of you?
Well, the thing is, I started this YouTube channel when I wasn't sober. So I started this YouTube channel when I was not sober. Like, and when I say sober, it's like, I don't know if I would consider myself. I don't know. I don't think I. I don't know if I'd consider myself an alcoholic. I don't know what. Like, alcoholic is a person that cannot go without drinking, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess. I mean, there's a bunch of different ways, however you define it.
Yeah, because okay, maybe I. No, I wasn't an alcoholic. I was supposed to say I'm an alcoholic. But I started this YouTube channel when I was still drinking alcohol, grabbing beers with the boys, having a beer like on the weekend, trying to get drunk, going to a party. But
I feel like when I was drinking, I was drinking all the time, and then I thought everything else was fucking gay. I was like, I don't know. I just thought having ambition or having goals or like doing anything outside of what's normal, because what's normal for like people our age is you go to work, you fucking work a desk job, and then on the weekends you get smashed with your boys.
yeah,
And then you go and try and pick up some chicks or something like that. And I thought anything else was just gay. And yeah, I feel like if I was looking at myself now from then, I probably would have thought that I was gay.
for doing YouTube videos.
Yeah, for doing YouTube videos and like focusing on personal development, reading books and
Dude,
shit.
I think that's the furthest thing from being gay, is focusing on
Yeah,
focusing on yourself.
Yeah, I'm just saying that's what I would have thought. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's how.
That's how you were. That was
Yeah.
your frame of mind. Your mindset. No, I actually like playing the ukulele, man. It's super chill. Yeah.
Do you feel like I don't know? One thing for me when I got sober was like there was a lot of times where it was just like steady, and it wasn't like my life was bad, but I didn't have those same highs that I used to have. But I also didn't have the same lows, and I think like I kind of craved that. Like I kind of wanted to self-sabotage or something, and I wanted to have those same swings. Like I used to enjoy those swings, positive or negative, that I would have when I was doing a lot of drugs or drinking. And like sometimes when you're in the most fucked up, like down bad mindset, like certain shit just really hits. Like sad music really hits. So I don't know, that shit kind of fueled me. So when I got sober, then it was like, oh, this is kind of boring. And it feels like everything is blase blah. But over the course of time, this became the norm.
Yeah, I think when I was smoking a lot of weed, when I wasn't smoking weed, I'm like, because I'd smoke weed all the time. I'd just be smoking a lot. It's not good. But yeah, like when I was sober, when I wasn't high, or when I wasn't drinking at parties, I'm like, oh, this is kind of boring. But to be honest, life is actually super fun, man. There's like so many crazy things you can do out there. You know, skydiving, mountain climbing, paragliding, surfing, you know, all that kind of stuff. There's like so much beauty and fun experiences that you can have in life without having to drink or smoke weed or do other drugs or anything that's gonna like make you release dopamine and stuff like that.
Yeah. But I think all that type of stuff, like the paragliding and the surfing, majority of people cannot do that most of the time. So
No.
you gotta find something else. Like you gotta change your whole mindset. Cause like on a day-to-day basis, like people, the normal person is just living for the weekend. Yeah, the normal person is just living for the weekend. But when you start to give up those things, like the alcohol, like the clubbing,
Yeah.
you don't have that anymore. So, yeah, you may be able to go on like a fucking vacation once or twice a year and go paragliding in Costa Rica.
Yeah.
But the majority of the time, the rest of your time, you're going to have to find something else to do to keep yourself going, which means you got to change your mindset. And, like, you got to change your mindset from seeking joy to seeking, like, purpose. Because I think one of the things I noticed when I quit my finance job and I was just living that life, living for the weekend, living for like taking some Xanax after work,
Yeah.
is that I started working as a trainer and I needed money real bad. So I started working 7 days a week. But once I started working 7 days a week, then I actually found purpose in that. And I found purpose in what I was doing. And so instead of having these same highs and lows, it was just like everything was a steady incline. And I was working 7 days a week, but I enjoyed it. It sucked at first, but I enjoyed it over time.
Do you miss drinking?
Yeah, at certain times, like I told you this, like I'll be driving home sometimes and I'm like, damn, the sun is setting right now. I wish I could, I wish I could crack open a fucking bottle of Jack Honey. And I wish I could, you know, just enjoy this. But you start thinking about it and it's like, well, tomorrow I gotta get up, and do I really want to sacrifice tonight for tomorrow? And then also, there's a lot more responsibilities, shit like that. So I feel like my mindset for the most part has changed because I do crave it sometimes. But the majority of the time, I'm like, I know that's all. I've seen how that lifestyle has panned out for me. And
It's not something you want to go back to.
no, and I feel like maybe this is just my belief, but I feel like that shit doesn't serve a purpose in anybody's life. And so why would you keep it? Like I get it. Some people, I have an addictive personality. Some people don't. Some people can like moderate themselves and shit. Cool, you can enjoy it. Like I don't really give a fuck as long as you're taking care of what you need to be doing. But at the same time, it's like, why would you want to be doing these things versus actually building something of substance in your life?
Something more meaningful.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's why I started playing the ukulele. Cause cause my ex-girlfriend got me the ukulele, and I'm like, yeah, it was actually really nice. It was a really nice gift, but I never used it. It was just she gave it to me, and then we broke up, and then I never touched it. Like it was just sitting in my closet, collecting dust, and then randomly one day I'm like, I should use this ukulele. something to do, something that's. I actually really like playing the ukulele, man. It's super chill.
What's next for you?
What's next for me? Like hobbies or
I don't know. Just what's next for you in life?
dude,
If you could look back at this in 10 years.
what's next for me?
Yeah.
Oof. Okay. I wanna. I'm gonna be in South Korea. I'm gonna be in South. Okay. The way I envision my future is, I'm living in Dubai. I have my own place, and I'm walking my dog. I'm just walking with my dog, exercising. I'll either have an academy for teaching English and Spanish, and then continuing to do the YouTube videos and seeing how that works, how it all works out. And then, by that time, I'd like to have someone in my life that I can, spend the rest of my life with. Like, I don't know, like I'd like to settle down and start a family. Yeah. But I don't know, like, I feel like right now I'm at a point where I just need to focus on myself and try, like, not give too much of my energy to people. Like, just keep it to myself. Like, reserve myself and value myself more and give myself more self-respect.
Go zero dark 30.
What does a zero dark 30 mean?
You ever seen that movie?
No.
It's where they kill Osama bin Laden.